Hey everybody. By everybody, I mean all 55 of you that I have now that subscribe. So that's awesome. Thank you again. Doing a little haunted bookshop in my... I don't know what they call this. I mean, I know it. I just can't remember it. I don't know if it's like a bent apple or whatever, but haunted bookshop in my Sherlock Holmes-esque or the poor man Sherlock Holmes pipe. Of course, in my trusty Zippo, my favorite Zippo. I'm smoking haunted bookshop, and I'm going to a little Oktoberfest because it's a gray, dreary... It's not... It's comfortable out. It's not cold. It's, well, it's a Halloweenish kind of fallish day. Early fall. But today's video is actually on podcasting. And I was thinking of this today as I was contemplating at work what I was going to talk about today. Because I had a few ideas, but I got a little sidetracked this week thanks to all of my new subscribers. So thank you. It was a nice distraction. So I was thinking, podcast-wise, especially for the younger, well, not younger, or newer podcasters, I should say, that get caught up in the social media aspects of it. Because I think what happens, and I'm guilty of it when I first started out, not so much then, because social media and podcasting 10 years ago wasn't as a big thing as it is today, I think. Sure, it played an element, but it wasn't like now. Like everything's social media and in your face and reminding people every 5 seconds, which is kind of annoying, actually. But a lot of people, and even me in my earlier career, would see a popular podcast or a Star Wars podcast, because that's where I originated from. You'd see a popular Star Wars podcast with like 11,000 followers, 15,000 followers, and you're sitting there with 100 if you're lucky, and you're like, well, God, they must have all these downloads and everything else, and I'm here to tell you that's bullshit. You can't go by that, because if you did, now there's other Star Wars podcasts that I'm just using it as an example. Now, this is just my experience. If you're a podcaster or a Star Wars podcaster and you see this, your mileage may vary, to be honest. This is just my experience and my take on it and how I view it. And I guess this could relate to YouTubers and other content creators as well. Okay, so the Cantina Cast has 3,400 followers on Twitter. We have 926 followers on Instagram, and I'm here to tell you we have a lot more downloads than that, or people that listen to the show or whatever than that. And then you can sit back and you can look, and not that Apple iTunes is anything to go by, like the rankings and everything, it's a bunch of horse shit anyway, so don't get caught up in that. But that's something you can get caught up. I did for a while, but that's a video for another time. But my point being here is there are podcasters that you would think are popular and they have more followers on their social media and everything, but they don't really rank too much on the charts as far as Apple and other platforms where you can download a podcast, because they probably don't have that many people downloading the show. I know, it's crazy. Whereas us, we don't have that many followers. I mean, we do. I mean, it's respectable. It's not anything to like say, meh, you know. But when you compare it to other Star Wars podcasts that are more popular as far as followers and social media because they're more engaging, you would say, oh, well, you guys can't. You got decent, but you're not as popular as the other ones, and that's a misnomer. I think people get caught up in those social media numbers and think it's something special, because I can tell you a lot of people pay to get those followers, and a lot of those followers are probably bots and everything else, or fake accounts or whatnot. So don't get caught up in that. My main point here is focus on what you're doing. Get better at your audio. Get better at your speaking, which is something I got to work on because I just said like an idiot. Work on, and there I did it again. Work on your, and see, when I podcast, I don't do that. But when I'm talking to it's crazy. But anyway, focus on your content. Focus on what you're doing, not so much the other guy or the other person and what they're doing with their downloads, or not downloads, but like their followers and their social media. You know, they look, or they get more retweets. And to be honest, when you look at someone who's got a lot of followers and you look at their retweets and their hearts and likes, you notice a lot of them are low. See, it doesn't mean that they're that engaging. It just means they probably paid to have a lot of followers and such. So don't get caught up in that. The main thing is, again, focusing on you, and you'll get there eventually. It takes a while. Podcasting isn't easy. And as I said, I've struggled with it recently, whether I want to continue, keep building the podcast network, retool it. You know, I'm always thinking, I won't give up. I'm not one to give up. I'm too damn stubborn to give up, to be honest. There's a lot of people that would love to see me fail or walk away. So I'm kind of too stubborn to do that. But also, I realized, as I said in a video before, I've had fulfillment with what I've done with Star Wars podcasting, but podcast as a whole, I'm not quite done yet. It's just figuring out what I really want to do now. Man, Haunted Bookshop is good. I'm kind of glad I got to go with Haunted Bookshop tonight, because I was listening to the audiobook, The Haunted Bookshop, and it gets me very in the mood to just sit in the shed and smoke a Haunted Bookshop. So I'm glad I got to do that, and especially on a rainy, dreary day. It's like the perfect tobacco for this kind of day. I don't know. That's how I feel. At least from, well, I guess from September to about November, late November, early December, because that's when the storyline is. Well, the storyline is just after Thanksgiving, or just before Thanksgiving, or Armistice Day, after the armistice was signed for World War I. And I think it goes into like the first week of December. So around there, that's the optimal Haunted Bookshop time smoking tobacco, I guess. Actually, smoke it whenever the hell you want. But again, back to podcasting, you know, and even with the Apple iTunes thing, like, people get all caught up in that, and I did for a while. It was motivation. We were trying to go after the most popular Star Wars podcast at the time, and they were in the top when you'd get to like The Force Awakens was coming out, Rogue One coming out, The Last Jedi, all that. When around that time frame, after The Last Jedi, things kind of got a little different with Star Wars. It wasn't as big on the charts, so to speak, but it still was. It just didn't get as high. Except for this one particular podcast, it would get high because it's known. It's like one of the first podcasts, Star Wars podcasts, and people know it. They don't know all the others, unfortunately, but they're getting there. But in any case, so we would pay attention to that. The top, not news and noteworthy. That means absolutely shit. Don't worry about that. That's just a fluke thing, if you ask me. It's not anything important. I know a lot of people focus on that, but don't focus on that. But so the top, I guess it's 300 for like TV and film. That's what we were. Now, Apple has since retooled everything. So categories and subcategories are different now, and the way they count downloads, all that. But that's another video for another day. But in any case, so we paid attention to that, and we noticed we were creeping up a little bit when we were always kind of behind them a little bit. Right when we first, like, we both released like a trailer reaction or a reaction to the movie or whatever, we were within striking distance. And we said, well, hell, we went balls to the wall and said, well, we're going to go for it. And we put everything into it. And we got there with hard work. We didn't get there so much with social media and all that jazz. So we just worked our butts off and did the right tags and all that other stuff, and that helped us get to where we were, and we did finally beat them. I think our top on the charts, the Apple iTunes, was number 9, which was pretty cool. I think it was number 9, pretty sure. Yes, and we were ahead of them. It was brief. It was like a couple of days, but it was brief, or a day, or whatever it was. It was very brief, but it was like, yes! You know, it always makes me think of that Superman moment, Batman versus Superman, which a lot of people don't like that movie. I understand that. I actually kind of am okay with it. But there's a moment where Batman says, "I want to know if you bleed," or whatever. And that's basically what I was set out to do. It's just to show to the other podcasts who, no fault of their own, they're doing their thing. They're not even worried about us. It's just in your own head. You're trying to challenge yourself. And we were the only ones to ever go ahead of them. I don't know about now. I haven't paid attention to the charts since The Last Jedi. They're really kind of irrelevant. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Nobody's Joe Rogan. Nobody's Ben Shapiro and such. So, or crime junkies. Nobody's that. So don't even worry about that. Just focus getting your craft honed in, and you'll get there. And even if you don't, like, I know podcasts that I've been involved with, they're a niche within a niche, or niche. It's niche. I'll go with niche. And they do very well for their little small community. They do a great job, and that's all you need. You don't need thousands upon thousands of followers, or listeners, or downloads, whatever you want to call it. But you also got to realize, oh, that's all right. That when you want to play with the big boys or the big dogs, you're going to have to work your butt off. It's not going to come to you. You got to go for it. And it's not easy. There's days you want to throw even me, right now, I've been doing it for 10 years, and there's days I want to say F it and just leave and go and just sit in the shed of solitude and talk to a camera. Then there are other days, no, I'm feeling good, and all of you who have subscribed in the last, I guess, 48 hours, 72 hours, or whatever it is, have re-energized me as well. Because all that support I've gotten is very genuine and heartwarming, and it's amazing. So it's energized me, and I feel a little bit better in focusing my efforts in podcasting and where I want to go for there. So, that'll be interesting. With so today, Lucasfilm announced that The Mandalorian is going to start streaming on October 30th. Not bad. When is that? Is that a Monday? I don't know when that is. Let's see. Calculator, not the calendar, Mike, not the calculator. You dope. Oh, so it's a Friday, which is what it normally does, which is good. So I can still do my Mando Monday. So it'll be interesting how that all turns out and how that plays into things, because I'm not podcasting till then. At least that's the plan. Things can change real quick. But I was thinking my involvement maybe with Star Wars isn't completely over. That I would do more on the YouTube side of things on the Cantina Cast channel, and do more like reactions to things quickly, and let the guys, Albert and Jonesy, just do the show, what the show is known for, breaking things down and being in depth and stuff, and I'll just do my, I don't know what you would call it. We'll see. I'm not completely done yet with Star Wars podcasting, although I thought I was. We'll see. I don't know. There's other things that I'd like to do. And I'm kind of getting off track of what I was talking about earlier, so I apologize. But, again, new podcasters, don't give up. Keep at it. You'll get there. If you want advice on anything, I just actually had someone reach out to me I think it was 2 days ago on Twitter, which I don't really spend much time on Twitter all that much. And they asked me how we got it was kind of a compliment, and I was kind of happy because I like showing people how to podcast and how to go about that stuff. So if you got any questions, just ask me. And they asked me how they used to listen to the show when me and my former co-host would do it. One of the things I challenged myself, and I've said this before, but I'll say it again here, is I want our audio to sound as clear as a radio, or have it sound like, at least like if you were driving in the car, it'd be like the radio or somewhat. And we worked real hard for that. So they asked me, how did you guys do what you did? Very simple, actually. We were online, like we were talking like on Skype or whatever we were using at the time. Don't use Skype, I hate Skype. But we used different methods. I swear I've done just about everything between Skype, TriCast, StreamYard now, everything. I've tried everything. All that matters is if you can find something where you can talk to someone online, have a conversation with them. But we each would record our own track, and then I'd have to go back in and edit each track so I could control what to take out and how to bump, boost, whatever you want to call it, EQ and all that stuff separately, and then level it so we're both sounding the same and not one higher than the other. So that took a while to learn. That wasn't easy. And now it's kind of funny because now we use StreamYard, and I cheat, like I said a few weeks ago, I think I said it a week ago, where I just download the audio file off of StreamYard, which is an MP3. I run it through my Hindenburg Pro digital workstation thing and tweak it the way I like it, but it's not as good as it once was, but to streamline things, it's a sacrifice I'm willing to do these days. But in any case, someone's whistling. Hopefully it's not like some killer or something. Man, this is smoking good. And Newton Piper, if you're watching, I assure you, I haven't been doing this for a long time. This is about a year, and the shed itself, with the tobacco up here, probably 8 months, I'd say. Yeah, 8 months. It hasn't been that long. But thank you for your kind words on the setup I got. These tobaccos will probably come in during the winter. Although, I don't know, they keep pretty well in the jar. I mean, this Haunted Bookshop's been around for a while, and it's still doing pretty good. We'll see. Maybe I'll do an experiment with one of them. One or two, and I'll leave in here. Maybe the Cumberland one that I don't like so much, I'll leave that in here. And that's about it. But in any case, I think that's going to do it for this video. A little podcast talk. There'll probably be some more podcast talk. As I said, I'm kind of going through the change of life in my podcast career, so there'll be more conversations on it. So if you're a podcaster and you're watching this, send me an email, whatever. We can talk, chat. I like talking shop when it comes to podcasting. And if anyone has any questions, how this works, what's a podcast, anything, I'll be happy to answer. So anyway, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my pipe and my beer, and I will see you guys tomorrow.